Oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. It's me, Summer. Welcome on knocking on Devin's door. I got a special guest today, as you can see, and it took us a bit longer, but because he had to do his hair, as you can see, looks amazing. And the funniest thing, Jeremy, welcome, Jeremy, to my program. Thank you so much for being here. The funny thing is, your hair match my background.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I
thank you
love it.
so much for being here with us. Can you tell us a bit about yourself then? Where are you coming from? Because we never spoke properly.
No, I just want to say thank you to my guides and some of your guides for bringing us into alignment at this point in time on Soul's journey. It's beautiful, and thank you to all my guides and all the guides of everybody watching this, no matter what time it is, for all bringing us into alignment. We are grateful. So, my name is Jeremy Joseph Damel, and I reside in a city called Oshkosh, Wisconsin, in the United States here. And I would if for the use of communication, which we really don't like labels a lot, but I will say that I identify as an intuitive medium, as as a Heyoka empath, as a life coach, as a recovery coach, and a spiritual octopus. So,
So
um,
you do
and,
it all. You are the full package.
yeah, yeah, a musician as well. I love music. It's been a big part of my soul's journey. It's brought me a lot of healing and so yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited today. Um, tell me, so let me just tell you guys, I've been watching Jeremy for a while, for a few months now, and I love his energy. I love everything that it's it comes everything that you say, it comes from your heart. You know what I mean? It's not just channeling, it just comes from your heart. And is it life experience? Most of the things that you talk is like life experience, and everything that comes from the heart, it can't go wrong. So it's lovely, the way the things that you say in your lives. In the end, then you can leave your contact if anyone wants to contact you, or if they want your service to help them. So that will be lovely too. So tell me, how did you start in this journey? I believe that most of us we start in this journey because we had bad life experience. Let's be honest. So, what did you bring you to spirituality, basically?
Excuse me. Well, so it's very interesting. I mean, it's really hard to kind of put it all in a quick, succinct way to say it. But ever since I was born, ever since I can remember, I remember seeing spirits. I think it's important to start there. And I remember seeing spirits in death states, and I used to be very scared. I'm talking of the age of 2, 3 years old. I used to. My parents would say, "No, you're having nightmares,"
Oh,
and go back to bed, and I would sleep like a dog curled up outside of their bedroom door at the top of the stairs, just
oh,
petrified. And I
it's
know
quite early.
if my mom watches this, she's always like, "Oh, she feels bad." I'm always like telling her to release it. No, it was meant to be. It was part of my soul's journey in this
That's
life
it.
cycle. And so, but yet that was my first trauma. I was also born with cerebral palsy, so I have
Oh,
a leg that's really uh, that has some atrophy and some things that go on it, and so I experienced so many different traumas that many of us have. I was molested as a child when I was a young man, by another man. I went to children's hospitals for my leg, and they told me I'd never be normal. I would never be able to keep up with the
wow.
other kids. um and then addiction, because when I was a child they put me on mood altering um medication to, and which blocked my psychic gifts.
Of
And yet
course.
at the same time, no matter what, you guys, like, I was never able to block my psychic gifts fully. And I was an alcoholic, drug addict, IV drug user. Been there, done it all. It's part of my story, sex, drugs, and rock and
It's
roll.
part of your story. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And So it all meant to be about, I would say roughly, so I had all these traumas and these were different. I didn't understand that these were simply power sources, like whether or not it's anger or sex or drugs. And I was just looking for something to fill me internally
Yeah,
through that. And now that source being a power greater than myself, cosmos, great father, mother, universe, God, call it what you want,
it is.
and so roughly it was April of 2018 that I had a beautiful family member of mine come and say, let's go get you some help, kid. And I was ready to do it at that point in time. I was truly, I mean, I had tore 7 teeth out of my head in a drug induced psychosis on meth and used heroin to get through the pain. I mean, I was like out of my mind. I was like, it was such a cry for help. And even at that point, I don't believe I was ready for a spiritual journey. I was admitted to a 28-day program for recovery, an inpatient thing. And
How
I
old were
remember,
you?
what's
How
that?
old, how old were
This is
you?
this is April of 2018. And I'm
Oh,
46 right now. Um so this is just a few years back. And I remember them. I remember going to these meetings and feeling very different from everyone else. I remember feeling like compelled to say that, look, we talk about what we think about, like is what creates the energy within us. No, not true. I can pick up other people's energy. It can attach to me. I can feel their own self-loathing. I always knew I was very empathic. And I remember my counselor and all the doctors and all the director of the program, they sat me down in a room one day and they said, I thought they were going to kick me out because I was talking to people about spirits and now that I was unblocked,
we
I
all
was
been there.
really starting to receive messages like left and right.
Oh, wow.
And I remember, um, you know, being that active intuitive medium and trying to bring some closure and message from her passed on son, who a woman was there to speak about her son that died and committed suicide and addiction. And so they really wanted to put me in a white coat, take me off, but they didn't. So they convened, and all the counselors reached out to other colleagues, and they said, we don't think you're crazy. We just don't know how to help you. Because as far as
Oh,
science is concerned, this is the quantum side of things that we can't. They said we suggest maybe you check with indigenous people in your community, because it's not taboo in their society, and things like this. So I want to say this. I used to think so at that point in time in on journey, I was like, this is very different from what, like, the 12 steps, which are known worldwide, right? The 12 steps of recovery, and how this is very different than me because these thoughts are not of my own. I can take on energy. This is one aspect that we don't talk about, the chapter to the empath. And so I thought maybe I would end up writing a book someday about empaths and recovery. And most people who are empathic or have this increased psychic gift often find themselves in drug or alcohol abuse because it's
yes.
the quickest way to block those psychic gifts, and we don't feel that.
Everything that you think, I've been there. I've been there. I had, I
Yeah,
had, I had a crazy teenagehood because exactly because of that. Yes, yes. I don't usually talk about it, but one day, actually, I'm starting very slowly to write a book, and I'm going to write about all that because it's important so people know what's happened with them.
absolutely. I want to say thank you for writing that and taking that journey. I am really trying to manifest. I don't know how this looks in the end, but I know I need, you can feel this on a
Yeah,
visceral level, Summer, to share your story, to be your authentic self, to be
yeah.
vulnerable. Strength
Don't
is
be
strength is my
afraid.
greatest weakness.
Don't be ashamed.
No, no, no longer will I live my life like that. Those people in my life that wish to
Hello.
want to put me in judgment, look, I don't need them in my life. They're not good for me. They're not good energy for me.
Exactly. And you know what? When you start to realize that, you start to go in the next level, and then you start to look, I don't need them for anything. They don't pay my bills. You know what I mean? They don't contribute for anything, just putting me and bringing me down. They are in that kind of energy that they always moaning about life. They are not adding anything to their life, but they try to control others people's life. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I felt the need.
Divine timing. We're just talking about it. It's beautiful. It's organic.
Yeah.
And so, what's interesting, Summer, on the way driving here, when I was coming back from getting my hair done, and like I'm coming here and I'm like, I started thinking about, I started thinking about not courage, cowardice. That word, cowardice, being a coward. Cowardice, I can attach this energy to the lack of self-worth, the lack of not loving ourselves. It's not that anyone is a coward. It is that they are missing they have the absence of the self-love. The cowardice is an energy that that to me I feel is a symptom of of it's the after energy, the after effect of that lack of self-worth. That if we really wanted to deal with cowardice, to realize that nobody's truly a coward. Look, you're drawing breath. You're not a coward. No matter how many other people put you in judgment, or we put ourselves in judgment, we're still drawing breath. So that means that you're a survivor. If you're watching this video, you
Yes.
are a survivor. Yes. And so you're not a coward. No, I don't believe there are any coward. There's no coward. It's wrong.
Mm.
It is a result of a lack of something else. Let's trace it back down to the root of the self-worth. And I feel like this is important to talk about. I felt like today I would talk about standing up to bullies and standing up to and stepping into your own power, being your authentic self, saying things and speaking your truth with love, but with that divine masculine energy of firm boundaries. Look, that's on you. How you feel about it. I always say, let them think. Let people think. They need to practice. I say that a lot. And it's not. I don't seek that validation anymore. And we must be if I was never my authentic self, Summer, you were, and we didn't talk about our truth, our past. Sure, we want to put on this face of, oh, we're great. Look, I'm really good. No, my basement is torn apart. I've got ink dye on my head. I am who I am.
That's it.
And it's like, if
amen to that.
Yeah. It's like if anybody's looking at me and judging me, they're judging my appearance. They're and it's the identity. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, my friend. I look at it like it's not what we look at. It's the truth of my heart, the truth of my frequency, vibration, my energy.
Yes, let your vibration talk. Instead of judging. You know what? It's so annoying. Sometimes I feel, I should be a little bit more calm. I should talk a little bit more smoothly, but that's not the way I am. I'm an aggressive person. Like I'm crazy. Now I'm much more calmer, much more, but I'm hyperactive. So it's hard for me to talk like smoothly. It's just the way I am, but doesn't mean that my heart is not in the right place.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that makes me think, I think about that too, because I've had some beautiful guidance from other people when I started to do this whole live streaming thing and started to do whatever it is I'm doing right now, right? It's not for me to decide. I don't put a label on it. It's like, whatever it is it, I'm coming from
message. You are a messenger.
Yeah. And he was saying, like, Jeremy, don't swear. Jeremy, be succinct. Jeremy, get in and get out. And I think about these things, and I do understand situational awareness, like who I'm talking to. And if I really want to be of service and understanding, learning modalities and things like this, and being able to connect with somebody in a safe way for them to receive the message and be open to it. Right. So maybe swearing isn't that. At the same time, I know some beautiful things. I've come to realize that whoever it's meant to resonate with, it's going to. And whoever it doesn't, it doesn't. And if I trigger somebody, if you're triggered, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, that guy said the F word. Oh, look, it's just a word. I might as well say bubble bath or rubber ducky, because it's like, only if you see that word as being offensive does it become offensive.
Yes, and they say people that swear, they're actually intelligent. You know what I mean? They say that people that swear are creative. And I was like, I always swear. I'm not going to lie, but I start to try to control myself, and then I got a guide. He swears too, and I'm like, so if upstairs they swear, why can I not swear?
Right. And that's beautiful, because when somebody's triggered in their ego and their egoic mind takes over, and they feel this their back getting warm, and they're really upset because they heard something very offensive to them. That's their higher self saying truth, that this is not right, that you should be open to what. Don't judge the messenger. You'll miss the message. and that maybe I should just relax, accept, ask my spirit guides. I love this saying. It's clear, cancel, and release. You know,
Oh,
in those moments,
Normal, I would
and
never
that's
be.
beautiful. To
sorry, I
reflect.
was yeah, go on.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just saying, reflect, regroup, and move forward is also a beautiful thing. To really take something that if somebody triggered you and you were really offended, what was your role in it, and what is your motive? Why do you have to be right? Why do you feel like you have to correct somebody's behavior? Why are you
Exactly.
not allowing someone to be their authentic self? Because at that point, we're not being our authentic self. And part of that means talking about the bullies and the cowardice. If anybody says, I don't appreciate your language, that's okay. Now that's me. If somebody said that to me, would you please not swear? I say, I appreciate your truthfulness, and I will do it all I can to accommodate that for you because I mean you no harm. And yes, and
Yes.
at the same time, in my moments of really living my life and on my soul's journey, I know how very important it is for me to be my authentic self at all times. Well, part of that aspect of me is not trying to hurt others, so I can be mindful of my language in situations. But
You are
but
trying
at
to
the
pass
same
a
time,
message. And
yeah.
people,
And go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
no, 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 sorry. I was going to say, instead of trying to understand the message that you are trying to pass, they are more worried about if you are swearing or not. So they are not catching the true message.
Yeah. It's a concept I call the egosphere. It's like it gets us stuck in this energy bubble, where there's only right and wrong, as opposed to just simply, uh, being a state of being and listening and absorbing,
Exactly.
without judgment, a portal of neutrality, which I love to refer to as a portal of neutrality, where we simply become an observer, where there's no duality based energy in this moment. There's no right or wrong. There's just peacefulness, and we can just take what we want, leave what we don't.
That's it. That's it. So tell me, what is like your favorite? We'll carry on this subject in a while. I'm pretty sure we'll find a way of getting back there. But what is your favorite? You are also a healer, or you work more as a psychic, as
I
a medium?
Yes, I do identify as a shaman as well.
Ooh,
Um, I've worked with energies. I've seen many dark energies, what we would refer to as demons. I've
let me ask
seen.
you something, Jeremy. Sorry to stop you there.
No, no.
When you say demons, because I've been having in this conversation with a friend of mine, do you think demons are people that were alive once? Well, because some people they got different theories about demons. To me, demons are people that been alive once. They actually been a human body, but they were so mean, and they carry on being mean or even worse after passing. Or do you think they never been a human beings? Now that we are talking about it, we don't have many people watching, so just say whatever.
It's a beautiful question. I really, I think it's a beautiful question and something I have not really given much thought to. So I can just share what I feel, and I do
Yes.
feel that. Um, so it's to say, like, from as an intuitive medium who's helped spirits cross over because of their belief systems. Human incarnates now that are in a state of disincarnate, have died, and now they just still have their energy body and their emotional body, and along with that emotional body and its spirit is attached ideology, right and wrong, religious beliefs, all this thing, all these lower frequencies, and so they don't want to cross over. They don't want to make amends. They don't want to ask for forgiveness. They don't want to simply go to the light and cross over. And
Or sometimes they're just too embarrassed because they are afraid they're going to be judged.
that's exactly it. That's right. Because of their religious beliefs, or that they may have
Yeah.
committed murder in this last life cycle, or whatever it is, whatever they're. And I realized I just did a quantum healing session with a friend of mine, Matt Schmidt, um, where I do realize that heaven and hell, and for many of these spirits, is an illusion. It's a concept of the mind. It's
Yeah.
just that's it. When once
I think we live in hell.
yeah, yeah. And so, yet at the same time, I cannot discount that there is light and dark in everything. Okay.
Yes.
even the devil, like even Satan, even the devil, there is light in that. Now there are bell curves of how much light, how much shadow, right? So on and so forth. But let's not, I think it's important for us to just take a second and just take a breath right now. Because what we're talking about are so many deep concepts, and yet they're related to different, there's many different moving parts to these, to what we're talking about right now. So I will say this. First, it's important for us to realize that your light side and your shadow side does not mean negativity. The shadow side does not mean, I'll use my hair as my duality haircut here as a great example. So your shadow side, brothers and sisters, whatever, your shadow, that's this hand, your shadow side is not evil, is not dark energy, negative entity energy, or evil, what we refer to as evil. It is simply the absence of light, which is wisdom, clarity, and understanding. That's all that is. That's all our shadow side is. Now, that's not to be or confused with dark energy or
Yes.
lower vibrational entities. And when we talk about demons being human souls that have lived a life of such self-seeking that it becomes further and further corrupt, and
Yes.
the vibration is so lowered to the point where because they're hurt and they view themselves as being beyond redemption, that they will hurt as many people as they can, because that's now what they feel their purpose is. They just become
Yes.
consumed in this lower vibrational frequency and entities. Okay, so yes, could I, do I feel that human, that incarnated human souls can also become, look, we're souls, we could be a number of things in a million of different lifetimes, and different aspects in different dimensions. And you guys, we really need to understand that at the same time, everything is, that time is an illusion. Okay, so that when I
Yes.
was a voodoo high priest in a past life, really killing people and hurting people and causing great harm, that aspect of me is still here right now, where I would be considered, oh, you're pure evil. No, you're nothing is pure evil. And so, but that part of me, that aspect of me, and those lessons are still and part of who Jeremy is right now, Jeremy in this physical form.
That's why you
And
shame, because
yeah,
you need to evolve.
yes, and we must be that dark or evil in order to
Be
dissolve it,
like,
in order to
yeah.
understand it and to see the wisdom in it. The devil is the greatest teacher. Many people don't even want to talk about the devil because they're so afraid of giving it power, which is truth. So now I want to talk to you about one other thing, and I'm not sure if it's a KP or PK, but it's a manifestation. And it's like I use this. I'm not sure. I can only speak by truth, but there's something along these lines, and many of you might realize this. What I speak of. It's where a psychic has increased psychic abilities, and we're all psychic, right? We're clear on that. And it's where they deny their psychic abilities and they keep denying. And that energy has to go somewhere. And it manifests into an energy of itself, like a poltergeist, if you will, a haunting, a powerful energy. So demons, what we would call demons, what would we call negative, lower vibrational frequencies or entities. Think about, let me say this. If we equated Satan to be having one bad day, one bad conversation with God, okay, if we could be open to this concept, to this, and then he's like, okay, you created a second form of people and we're not good enough for you. And God says, no, that's ego. No, you're not allowing. So I'm going to send you, and you're going to take a third of heaven with you as the Nephilim to fall from heaven and go live amongst the humans. Okay. So now, over centuries, millennium, we've talked about this good and evil. We've given power. So many souls have been taught to fear Satan, right? How much energy do you think has gone in? How much do you think you've empowered Satan? When the truth of it is, Satan had one bad day. One day I was channeling Archangel Michael and he spoke about his brother. He loves Satan, as I love all things. And and the thing of it is, we give power to these energies by just simply believing that they exist or believing that they have power over us and the fear, and they draw that energy and they become very powerful. But, brothers and sisters, make no mistake that Satan is an angel and that is of the light and the dark. Okay. And it's like Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail, and this beautiful, little, beautiful Scottish baby cub sister had put this video out on YouTube, and she's like, "Okay, listen, I am Jill. Me and Jack went up the hill one day, and yes, Jack fell down, and we broke his crown. But I'll have you know that we have hauled hundreds of pails of water since that one day. It was just one day," she sang in her beautiful Scottish accent, and she's so adorable. And it's the point is to not focus on the negative. We give power
Yes.
to that. And the same thing with demons. The same thing with lower vibrational frequencies or entities. Guys, do I feel that there is a real dimension that we refer to as hell? Yes, I do, because as a shaman and other people, when we banish in those moments where we separate attachments, there's a place to go put them in holding, if you will. I do feel, I know it's like Middle Earth that Tolkien spoke about in Lord of the Rings, where there's a lower dimension of existence where I've done soul retrieval on myself from an aspect of myself in the astral plane. And when I remember going and finding and defending this energy ball of white light behind me. And I remember like not fearing this ink block demon that was like spread out and all blotchy on the wall and slithering down the wall in this building. And I remember being not fearful and protecting. What I didn't realize was I was doing soul retrieval on myself, or soul retrieval, not extraction. That's different. That's like soul retrieval of my fractured soul on myself in this dimension of existence, which was hell. Okay. And it's a lower vibration. It's a very low fear-based vibration. And yes, it looks just like Earth.
Sometimes I go to a place that I call it the hospital. Sorry, I call it the hospital. Okay. And it looks like exactly like, sorry, I was just sharing this. It looks like a hospital. Do you know when you go in a hospital, imagine a hospital like empty, completely empty. So
Sure.
this is that lower vibration place where you find the lost souls. That's where I go to save them. But I go there. I just go there. I'm like a shadow hunter. So I don't wait.
And
I
you
just
fear
go there.
nothing. And you're beautiful and you fear nothing.
I try to become stronger because I bring like the big team with me.
Yeah, right. It's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. You know, as a shaman, there have been moments where I've gone into these situations where I was dealing with a demonic presence and a man who had he has stage 4 cancer, who's going through chemo, so he was very vulnerable, right? Obviously, energetically for an attachment. And as it turned out, his son and his ex-wife were Wiccan and doing a lot of dark magic. So this attachment had been with them for a very long time. And I remember going into this building and feeling very vulnerable and calling a couple other beautiful healers to do energy protection grids and things like that around me to work with them while I went into this place by myself. And I remember like feeling like knocked on my heels a little bit there in a moment. Like, man, this is a really nasty, not
You can say the words.
yeah, not love. There was no love in this energy. Okay. And it was very powerful. And and that's the goal to get
Was
you to
that
step into the flow.
a physical place or was like a
And
different
no,
dimension?
I was in a physical building with this man who had cancer and his son, who were living in total fear, totally terrorized by shadow beings, by all sorts of things, by knocking on the wall, scratching on the wall, growls in the house, like it was very malevolent.
Yeah.
And I was there by myself, um, with bringing some spiritual things, items I've used to work with to help to look. And it's never a one and done thing, guys. You know, it's like you can't just. And somebody that says, I remember some sister said, just call in the white light of God and everything will be right. I'm like, okay. So I just want to say this. I know we laugh a little bit because truthfully, and I have friends of mine that are demonologists and things like this that no. That I told that soul sister, you should feel blessed that you've never faced such vibration and energy of such a low vibration. That it might be that comforting to your soul to when you're feeling fear to call in this white light of God and feel safe. But I tell you, that's not been my experience. There are moments where I faced as a shaman that are that could very well have gone, but my spirit guides, well, no, they're saying yes. That could have gone bad for me had I chose to give into that fear. That's why I feel like not everybody is meant to be a shaman. Not everybody's meant to, because it takes a great deal of courage and strength and intelligence to realize what you're dealing with. Let's be
Yes.
honest. Like I had to ask for assistance in this because I did not know enough. And this demon was very powerful. And it had me on my heels in this moment. And I'm grateful that I have archangels around me to protect me.
Oh
That
yeah.
said, like for us to simply think that, oh, we're all powerful, and we have unlimited power within us, between us and source and spirit. But to think that you could never face something in your life or that others don't is ridiculous ego. Is absolute your truth thinking that you know exactly the way the world is, and it's not what you think. I say with love, you cupcakes that think like that. Your life is sweet if you think it's that easy, but it is not truly.
Yes, I know. Sometimes I say, "Oh my God, these people are asleep, and I'm here at 3 o'clock in the morning fighting demons
Right.
or fighting energies, and people are just asleep. They don't know what I'm doing at 3 o'clock in the morning."
Right. So again, like let's look at that. Let's look at, and I don't know the demon that I was working with, right? It wasn't like some sci-fi man. I know your name now, leave, right? Because it wasn't a there was not an attack, there was not a possession. We weren't dealing with possession, right?
Yes.
So um yet that said, I reached out to somebody who was a very, very big demonologist and a healer that helped me in this instance. And she confirmed that look, to like call in the light of God on some energy that is that powerful and smudging and doing things like that is almost like macing a bear, and you're only going to piss it off much worse.
Yes.
It's not, you're not, to realize that there are that, so these demons that have right have existed for a very long time and traumatized many souls. These souls, every time that's happened, realize that they're consuming the energy and power of that soul, and that they become stronger. So there's some very strong energies of a lower vibration and frequency, if you will, out there. Okay. And
Yes.
blessed be to those who have never experienced those. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. People don't realize, and they are afraid of the unknown. They prefer not to know. Even certain medias that I know, they only work with certain. They only work with. They are not like very mind broadened. They prefer to ignore certain things. And sometimes, good for them. Good for them. This is like my mission to help others in this way, and you too. But it's not for everyone. It's not easy.
No, it's
Easy.
no, it takes a great deal of energy. That's why I
Okay.
said when I was introducing who I am, I feel like I'm a spiritual octopus. On many, I have my tentacles in a lot of different areas of spirituality, and whether or not that's taking back power from trauma, putting it into self love, overcoming any mental or physical body illness, or coming or curing ourselves. Yes, we can, from the disease of addiction or alcoholism or anything. So. Um, but it's not for everyone. And everyone, would say to every brother and sister that are watching this video now, to really trust your intuition. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't force yourself. If it
No,
creates
no.
such a level of fear in you, then maybe it's not for you. Like, just simply recognize that it's not danger. Danger is real. Fear is just a red flag. It is, and it's okay. But
Fear
really,
it's good, a certain amount of fear it's what keep you focused in what you're doing and keeps you on track. Fear it's not a bad thing as long as it doesn't block your life, you know what I mean?
yes, and start dipping into your soul, or making you
Yes,
step out of your power. So in that moment,
honestly.
when I was,
Yeah,
yeah, when
no,
I
you
was
can
dealing with
mention.
that, when I dealt with that demon Summer, and I felt myself becoming scared, right? I felt fear. I was scared. I was like, this is very powerful, a very powerful energy. And I in that moment, I recognized what was happening. That I recognized that, okay, now I just took a punch to the jaw, and this demon was gonna consume my energy and put me in fear, and could gain the upper hand on me if I had not, if I had allowed that to happen. So these it's like to recognize that fear as, okay, that is just my ego. All right, listen, I'm an infinite being of light. This thing cannot hurt me, no
You
matter
are in
what it wants to do. It cannot consume my soul. It will not. It will not. It will not, because I not only say it will, but I know, and not even just know, but I know it will not. And I don't give it any power over me. And that's very important to say. To and yes, at that time you're calling in the light and the blue flame of my Archangel Michael, and I'm calling, and I'm saying things that I'm like, ah, we need help here. Like, yes, in that
Oh,
moment,
yes.
you know, at the same time, everything turned out all right, and my higher power would never give me more than I could handle, right? So
Exactly. That's what I try to remember all the time. It will not give me nothing that we can handle. And sometimes, guys, if you're feeling that you are struggling, and I say this so many times, even when I'm not even talking about entities, I'm talking about with our life, just ask God, God, please help me bear this cross, help me carry this cross.
amen to that.
Yes.
Yep.
I was going to ask you. Oh, sorry. You were talking about, because I asked you if you were a healer, and then we start to talk about entities, which I could be here all night. And it's always nice to talk with someone that got the same experience as me. Because sometimes it's hard to have someone to talk with about these kind of things, and you prefer just don't tell it to anyone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's because it's like, I love what you said about carrying the cross, like carrying the crux. Like, I'm so grateful to totally be Jeremy and not give a damn about what anybody thinks about me,
Yeah.
because I I'm so grateful. I love you so much. I just feel it so much love. I want to tell you I love you, and I love all souls out there just right now. Like, I feel
Wow.
so, and my wish and my blessing is for all souls to feel what I feel right now. And that is pure, authentic self love, knowing that I am perfect in every way, knowing that I am divine in every way, knowing that anybody that falls away from me or that I walk away from
It's for a
is,
cause.
it's right. That's right. Everything is happening for us, not to us. And that's making more room for good energy, for beautiful souls. So those people that put me in
Exactly.
judgment for speaking my truth, I do not trouble myself or
You
give it
don't need
another
them.
thought. Right. I don't give it another thought about, are they going to be all right without me? No, it's not my job to save anyone. I'm not here to save anyone. Yes, it's a beautiful aspect of the human experience to help each other on soul's journey. You know, my friend, I say this, I'll share this. I say, I may not remember all the names of all the souls who have helped me on my soul's journey, yet I will never forget what they've done for me. Be remembered. You
Yes,
know,
even the bad experience, they're always there for a reason. Even the ones that did you wrong, you know.
yes,
You know,
because there's only lessons. There are only lessons.
they only like, yesterday I was checking some pictures when I was a child, and I was the only black girl in the school. And I start to notice, I always knew I was different, not just because I'm black. And I start to notice, even in the pictures, I was always on the side. And I became very emotional because of that. But I always knew the person that I became, like, strong. I'm like, I don't put up with anyone's shit because I've been through lots of things in my
Yep.
life. And
Mhm.
because of my childhood, it's the way I am like this because of my childhood. And yesterday I was checking the pictures because someone posted them on Facebook, and I was like, wow. Even when this is all coming from my childhood, I always knew, but seeing those pictures is like a slap in the face. I was always on the side from all the other kids. I could see the difference, and I can feel the energy now in a different way. It was very emotional,
Oh,
but I
I,
know.
I love you. I relate to that so much.
Yeah, but I know I need to work on this. I still need to work on these emotions because I feel that some are still trapped. That's why those pictures been shown to me. It was by the spirit because I need to work on this.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that you're still triggered. That you're still triggered when those judgments come. It still has some power over you.
I became very competitive. I'm very
Mhm.
competitive because I'm like, I always try to be. You know what? I was the only one, the only black,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try to
Yeah.
do my best because I don't
Let
want to be the last one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, yeah, I absolutely do, and I feel you totally stepping into your power more fully now, right now, by realizing that's just look, girl, they're gonna make trophies and they're gonna give you trophies no matter what. And it comes when we don't seek the trophies. It doesn't matter who knows who we feel like we want to achieve, and we're so many of us are driven in our lives, right? So many people can relate to what you just said. Like I needed to do that. That's why I'm very good at rock and roll. I'm not gonna lie,
Yes,
because I had something. I always felt like I had something to prove in order to
yes,
validate my existence. Yeah, but now I know that shit doesn't mean anything. That I'm a rock star, and it's just a state
yeah.
of being. It's
That's
a
what I
state of
feel. I'm
mind.
like, I don't care if people like me.
No,
I'm a weirdo, and I'm happy and proud of it.
hair flips, hair flips.
You
I
know what,
know.
Jeremy? I want to do
Yes,
that. I want to do those
yeah,
colors.
yeah.
They
I
just
mean,
give me such a good vibration. I love it.
oh, I love you. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, it's like when you know that you're true, when a soul knows their worth, it's like when we know, now that I know my worth and my value,
Yes.
nothing is really truly of value to me. It doesn't matter if it was
Yeah.
taken away from me or not. None of it means anything. Once Moji talks about this, Moji's a beautiful healer and a mystic and a guru. Moji talks about when the mind doesn't see the self. Once the self sees the mind, we realize it's just an illusion. And I want to share something that I think is really beautiful because it's about how we identify. It's a concept that I call I versus I. Okay, again, it's all about our existence. So, and my I being my true form, divinity, not needing anything, not seeking anything, doesn't need anything. It doesn't even understand the concept of needing anything. It's just pure, beautiful love, content, joy, bliss, just
That's it.
perfect. And then there's my human experience where I'm constantly trying to identify with things like where are my feet going? If I don't watch where I'm going, I'm going to fall on her. I have fear, 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 like
Yeah.
trying to make sense, trying to put a label on everything, trying to understand and quantify everything. And it doesn't, and it's such an exhausting place to be when you're trying to live like that.
Oh, yeah. It's
Because
blocking you. You're already
yeah,
suffering from things that you didn't been through yet. You are suffering from anticipation.
Yes. So I will use painting. Let's look at painting in the colors of white and black. Okay. Now I want to show you what I mean by when we're connected to source and spirit and know that we're infinite beings of light in simple meat suits that are just here to learn lessons. That's it, and evolve as souls. So if we can stay connected and realize, look, I am of God. I am made in his image. I am of the light. I am beautiful. I need nothing. If you're not dying of a heart attack or bleeding out right now, and your physical body, your physical avatar is not in jeopardy of perishing, then you truly have all your needs met already. And it is, if you're uncomfortable, it is a matter of all this stuff affecting this stuff because of
Yeah.
how you're seeing it. Now, I want to use this awesome parable that I love sharing. It's about painting. And so in painting, in the color white is the absence of all color and the presence of all light. White, the color white is the absence of all color and the presence of all light. Now, black is the presence of all color and the absence of all light. So what does that speak of? Look, everything I'm looking at right now has color in it, right? And I identify with it, right?
Yeah.
It's just something I'm seeing. But it's lacking all light, like truthfully. And what is light to me? God. It's like spirit. Yes. And so this concept is like the identifying the I versus I, my true form and divinity versus these needs. Need is a 4-letter word. like so is what? I mean, so if we can realize that all of this stuff, and it's just stuff, and it's only here to serve one purpose, anything and everything in our soul's life, everything from the rocks, the birds, the trees, the news cycle, everything is there for one specific reason. That's for the possibility of optimal soul growth. There's a lesson in everything.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I love that analogy about paint white.
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful. You are absolutely right. But just only when we go through the spiritual awakening, we start to realize that there is a lesson in everything that we do. Yes.
Everything. Yes.
And we start to realize that everything that we are going through now, for some reason, we've been trained since we were a child too. And it's everything it's like a puzzle. Everything starts to make sense. It's just amazing. And you're like, oh, that's why that thing happened to me 10 years ago. And it's amazing. Everything starts to make sense.
That's beautiful, Summer. And that's exactly right. Because when I said earlier, I said, reflect, regroup, and move forward. If we roll those now that we're on the ascension timeline or whatever, like we've stepped into our on spiritual journey, right? And so now that we review our lives, you and I can both connect the tissue. We say, oh, that makes total sense. This is why I was the one only Black multi-ethnic person growing up in this environment, because I was going to shine and show others how to shine now and for the rest of my days. Like, this, why your trauma served its purpose, because everything is serving a purpose. And, and
Christine is saying that happened to her too, like a light bulb.
When we reflect, regroup, and move forward, we realize that, man, everything has been preparing me for this very moment right now. And it's such a beautiful thing. And I want to say that I always tell people, I used to say, your best days are ahead of you. No, your best days are right now when you choose to redirect your energy body and realize that all your needs are already met. Yeah, they're right now. Your best days are right now. Truth.
Exactly. There is no past. There is no future. There is here now.
Sister, I wear a watch. I wear a watch with no hat. I tore the hands off it. I tore the hands off. There are no hands on this watch because the only time that matters is right now.
Oh, that's funny. Kimi saying moving between the dimensions of self, ego, and light. Yeah. Hi, Sally.
Hi, everyone. Joining us.
I'm just saying hi to everyone. This is Jeremy. It's just amazing. We could be talking
Well,
here for 20 hours non-stop. I'm pretty sure we'll never get fed up. You always get something
oh,
to say. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Jeremy is a shaman, is a medium, is an artist. Do you, Jeremy, this is something before I forget, let me ask you, do you channel your music too when you are playing your guitar or
So interesting question. There are times where I do open myself up to the what I refer to as the light angel of music or ascended masters or galactic family members of light that wish to channel me through music, and I have experienced um a difference. Like I have a lot of different colors when I play music, and I can play a lot of different styles, and yet it's like I do notice a bit of a difference. It kind of takes me out of my comfort zone, and it's very different and specific. Yeah, I have, yeah.
what do you mean? Sorry. So when you're channeling, you don't feel as much as because you know it's not you. That's what you mean.
Yeah, it's like when whenever if somebody's curious about channeling and how that looks. So like clairaudient, all right, let's look at this clair, right? Clairaudient means doesn't necessarily mean that you're hearing, excuse me, disembodied voices, that although you can, but it could also mean that you're getting thoughts not of your own, right? Okay, that you're getting, and so when you're open to this, I'll tell you, look, I'm a guy with like barely a high school education, no further education, and yet some of the things that I say, it's like I should have a number of letters after my name. I'm like, I don't even know where it comes from, but it comes from the supercomputer of consciousness, if you will, the higher realms of a collective consciousness. I don't believe I seriously feel that there's not an original thought on the earth plane, truthfully. And yet
I
it is.
understand that.
And the reason I'm working on building my brand that I may be taken seriously, that I may align with my soul tribe and manifest a thing called Camp Phoenix. It's like a vision I have, and that's one thing I always ask spirit for. And the reason I do things like I put my name underneath a quote is because it is higher self. Look, spirit might give you the information, but it's up to Jeremy to be taking the moment to clear his chakras, to do
Yeah,
the work, and to put it out there. So we do
exactly.
get some credit because we have that free will, and we are trying to build our brands, and we are trying to become healers, so that I hope, no, I know I will make a ton of money someday. And with this kid with this high school education, and I see myself being a huge philanthropist and like opening up recovery places and places to bring in brothers and sisters that have nowhere else to go. Where the psych wards want to tell these people, you're crazy, take this medication. No, you're not. You're clairaudient.
That's
Like,
what they
let's
are
give these
trying.
people help. This is what I'm, well, yeah, it happens all the time. There's so much that the world needs right now. And there's not a soul on earth that's not trauma informed because of COVID-19, which all happened for a reason.
Yes.
And so now, and there are more healers being born that were not really born. Look, I
They
was
will
I was a
always be
shaman.
here.
I wore a toga in a past life. I know I have been the guide on the side, not the sage on the stage, but brought lots of wisdom and light codes in many past lives. I'm just simply remembering these beautiful things that
Yeah.
I've already learned in many aspects. And I'm also guided divinely by spirit. So yeah, who am I to say? Who was Jeremy to say this guy, this punk rock kid from Oshkosh without barely a high school education? I'll tell you who I am. I'm Jeremy. I'm an unlimited being of
Exactly.
light, unlimited power, beautiful and divine in every way, no better, no less than anyone. So, oh, yes, I have doctor friends of people that have gone to school for many years and studied many things, and we're all equal. Every one of us are equal. We all have beautiful gifts, unique
Oh
gifts.
yes. Exactly. And you know what? I'm looking at you, and because I've been following you for a few months now, I know I would never say that you don't have like a degree. You know what I mean? Because what
Yeah,
you tell is so profound. and I can feel the intelligence, but it's coming from many lives ago, so all that knowledge is coming out from your heart. That's what I told you in the beginning. You talk from your heart, and I love that. That's why I
Yeah,
love talking with you. Sally is
thank
saying,
you.
through the sign of a cross on the baby's head at the baptism was designed to close their third eye. Jeremy, I've
Oh,
been
that's
raised.
awesome. I love that, Sally. That's great.
Yeah, I've been raised as a Catholic. I always been a Catholic. I still am a Catholic, because
Yeah,
I
me
am.
too.
Lots of my
Sure.
guys they are Catholic, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I'm a spiritual person. I just connect with the divine, and I
yep.
remember I was 7 years old, and when I started to shout to my mom that I could see spirits in my bedroom, I remember this is the only memory I got from that time, besides the spirits in the bottom of my bed. I remember she had something in her hands after a few days, and she was doing some crosses in my forehead. I can still feel the smell because she was trying to close my third eye. That's what they do in Portugal because I'm from Portugal.
Oh,
They try
that's
to
kind of
close your third eye.
that's pretty beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I feel that's beautiful. She was trying to protect you, trying to help you.
Yeah, but that's what they do in Catholic Church.
Yeah.
If they see that you got your third eye open, they actually call it
Yeah,
open
yeah.
door.
I don't know if I like that energy then, because then I think about ideology. I don't know. I have to think about that. I feel like that has a lower vibration attached to that too.
Oh
Because
yes, it's low
yeah,
mind,
yeah,
it's even low vibration. It's like
yeah,
people
they
with
don't
low
want that's what
mind.
and I okay, so I'm Catholic too, right? I'll say I'm Catholic too, but I'm spiritual. I transcend all ideology and
Yeah, it's
realize
like
that there's religious wars, that these are corrupt men that are self-seeking and power
oh
hungry.
yeah,
Yeah. Now, we talk about the angels. Like there's only a few instances where angels are referred to in the Bible. Look, mankind has taken what they want, left what they did, and melded things in a really not a good, healthy way.
oh
So
yes,
yes, I love the feeling when I walk into a Catholic church. My God transcends. There's no so look at all the paintings, and especially during like the Medici period and the Renaissance, where they paid artists to have these horrible, vicious Satan and all the devil and all you're gonna look. No, they wanted you side up to fight their holy wars. And I mean, look at Protestants and Catholics. I mean, there's so much corruption in churches
oh
and
yes, yeah.
religion.
You want to
But
scare
but
us?
but
You
that,
want to close our eyes?
yeah,
You
but
want to?
I don't abandon. And like you and I, we haven't abandoned our religious upbringing, but
Yes,
we've expanded that. And I'll be damned if I'll ever have a priest try to close my third eye. It's not going to
oh
happen,
oh yeah.
you know. And the reason they do that is because so that we can see the truth and see the corruption of man
But
and
that's
see
what
the corruption
they
of
don't want us to see the truth.
look. God is not about fear. God is not about punishment. That is not true. That is zero
Exactly.
true. So the Bible in that instance is very much wrong. And it's not, that's false. That is
Yes.
corruption. And then many people are triggered hearing that because they're like, oh no. Again, if you're triggered, that's your higher self saying there's truth to this.
But that's how they control everyone. You know what? I work with Jesus. Jesus is one of my guides.
Oh,
And,
I love Jesus.
and you
Oh
know
yeah.
what? And people think that one day is going to be the judgment day. According to the Bible, there is a judgment day. Jesus told
Yeah.
me, he told me, there is no judgment day. When you die, it's your own thoughts that don't let you move to heaven. It's your own
That's
thoughts.
exactly right. That's
Because
exactly
people
we
think they are so lost souls because of judgment day. No, 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 there is no judgment day. It's your own thoughts that don't let you go further because you are
you're
feeling.
yes. This is what I spoke about a spirit when they cross over, they have an energy body and emotional body, right? And then their fear of judgment, and then they don't want to go back to light. You're so spot on. And Jesus is an ascended master. If for those of you guys that understand the seven rays, he's
Yeah,
such a beautiful. I love Jesus so much. Jesus
I
is
love
amazing.
the seven rays.
He's the
Yeah,
God of forgiveness. He's the God of like he's just awesome. I can't say enough good stuff about Jesus Christ.
exactly.
I mean,
Wh-
truly.
I'm trying to remember. He said to me, "There is no judgment day. he said, "We all here to learn." Oh my God, I need to remember now. But I need to remember. He said to me, "There is no judgment day," and then he said what was actually happening, and it was just beautiful. Something that I love to work with him is he's always got something nice. Sometimes he tells me message, and he never judge. The way he talks to me is like when I'm doing something wrong, he comes to tell me, but in a non-judgmental way, and he just gives me the message like, you know what, he doesn't say that he's not correct, but he just gives me the hint, and he's like, you can carry on doing that, but if you carry on, this is going to happen, you know. But just in a nice, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm just in love with him. Sorry.
I know. I can't say enough about Jesus Christ. Is amazing. He's like,
Yes.
and he's so loving. He's so, and it's not about fear. You're right, Summer. It's not. That's not the hell that they write about in the Bible is not what you're human. You're not gonna go there unless you believe you're gonna go there. If you're gonna go there, my friend Matt Schmidt does a lot of past life. He does he's a quantum healer, so it's like hypnosis, right? And every single soul, like if you can literally like rot there for 10,000 years if you think that's what you deserve. Like you can literally stay in the energy of hell for when we look at 10,000 years, guys, and soul time, that's nothing. Human time is like seems so long, but it's nothing. It's nothing. Soul time is infinite. Look, I mean, look, and there's only lessons to be learned. There's no right or wrong. I look at the earth plane not as a battlefield of angels and demons, yet it's way more so a classroom. That's it. That's all it is.
That's it. That's how I see it. We're just here to learn. Yeah, live and learn. There, you know, instead of so much hate, so much enviness, so much low energy, just live and learn. That's all I ask.
Yeah. We don't need anything. Yes, I would love to be successful and financially secure, right? So that I can live a life, be comfortable, to maybe have things that I've never had, you know, but yet more importantly, so I can help other people. So I can afford to get my butt around the world and meet other beautiful healers and come in these alignments. And but it's for the greatest good of all souls, not just Jeremy's soul. Look, I'll be content with, but at the same time, I'm just grateful for what I have right now. And I know the universe will bring me everything I need. And it might not be money.
Something, Jeremy.
Yes,
I feel that you are the one. Sorry, this is just me with my psychic, with my psychic soul, which is a pain sometimes. I feel that there is nothing stopping you. There is you stopping you. Maybe you got some attachments there where you are. I feel that
you're so right. You're so tapped in because I'm on the. I need to start writing. I want to write many books, and I need to do this. And I've been
you do it while you travel.
I've been doubting. I don't know why. I don't know. I do. We'll talk after camera, we'll talk after this. But
no, I just can feel the energy. Right. Go, man, go travel the world. They deserve you. You know, people need you in their lives. You need to understand that. Go, but you'll get there. You will get there. You got this amazing energy, so much to give to the world. Talking about giving to the world, would you like to play as a song? Now I'm being cheeky and I'm taking advantage of you.
Yeah, you got it, baby.
I'm so happy. Sorry, I'm just checking in the message from Christine. My soul has been under siege for the past few years now. Freed, awesome. I'm really happy for you.
You do that. I'm going to tune the guitar real quick.
Sally's saying, just pick up a pen and start, right, Jeremy?
What's that? Just pick up a pen. I know, my friend. I know. But there's so many concepts. Divine timing, Jeremy. But in order to manifest, we actually have to start taking action. I mean, it's the intention is one thing, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
even if you just bullet points of what you want to talk. Okay, I'm going to hear the energy while you just.
Okay.
Let me see. Are you channeling today or not?
I'm going. No, that was beautiful. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Um,
So, turn it
Once
down a little.
again, this is the second time this week. Archangel Ezekiel is coming to my mind. I never even work with him. Do you work with him, Ezekiel?
Uh Angel, I have not worked with this. No.
Ah,
For,
that's weird.
for me, it has been Kiribel, Michael, Shamuel, Da'at is a really funky angel. That's like
Which one?
Da'at, D-A-hyphen-A-T. He's like
Ah,
the man. This angel is so beautiful. It's like you can't even put a name on him. Many cultures don't even know how to name him. He's like the center of the tree of life. He's like the angel of the void.
oh,
He's
I need to
amazing.
check him.
Whatever. It's like amazing. D-A-hyphen-A-T. Yeah, and then Raziel is definitely like Archangel Raziel is like my one of the closest angels to me. And Metatron for sure, Sandelphin as well. Those two angels are beautiful because Metatron and Sandelphin were one of the only two angels that have lived in human form, so they understand the human experience very much so. Um, and there are others, I'm sure. I'm just not thinking of Jophiel.
Sorry, I already blocked him. Sorry, I'm just still reading the comments here. Sorry, I already blocked him. Sorry about that. It's happening.
How's it sound,
The,
Summer?
the what? Beautiful.
All right. Well, I'm going to play a song I wrote in recovery. One night, we were down in Chicago. We had played a big gig down there, opening up for a big punk rock festival, and we came back home that night. And I remember walking. I was dropping our van trailer off at my parents' house, and excuse me, they were like, "She's 9 centimeters. She's 9 centimeters." I'm like, "What does this mean?" She's like, "We're having a baby." I'm like, "You're having a baby. I need to go sleep. I've been up for days on drugs and horribleness." Like, and so she said, and I literally went in the house and I wrote this song. My sister-in-law was the night I became an uncle, and I wrote this song about my niece that was being born, even though I referred to the song as a boy. But I think the deeper meaning was this child that I sing about in the song, and the song's called Newborn, was actually about me, myself, I feel. And it's a song called Newborn, and I'll just play this.
Who wrote that song then?
So I hope we can hear this. Well, maybe I'll turn this down just a hair so that you can hear my vocals. I'm sick of feeling bad for myself. I'm sick of worrying about my poor health. I'm sick of reminiscing about glory days. If I don't have more good days coming, what's the point of pissing and moaning? My baby's face makes my blues go all the way. Cause his life is bright and full of a future. My life's festering in need of some suture. Here today, and that's one thing we can share. So raise a glass to the past and the future. Cause life is full of winners and losers. One day I might be up and might be down. Yeah, here today we stand and see just bubbles in life. Yeah, there ain't no ego. This moment in time, I'm glad to have survived. This is our time. When he grows up, will he be a good man? Love somebody, do all that he can? Or will he be like me and self-destruct? Now I gotta believe there's a future there. I promise it will over this year. Big enough hope for us all to enjoy in love. Yeah, this is not Friday. One day I might be up, I might be down. Yeah, but in the day we stand and see his brothers and I. And there ain't no evil in this moment in time. I'm glad to have survived. This is our time. Just the way that it should be. Standing tall in the suit that he worked for. A pillar of strength makes his mama feel so proud. Yeah, he had to be right here today to say thank you to the man who paved the way. The road of do's and don'ts that made him a man. Oh, so cry, guess it's all been worth it. I did what I could. No, it's not perfect, but do me a favor when you see it. Smile, 'cause that's your time.
Thank you so much for that.
It's my pleasure, my honor.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, no doubt.
Let
Beautiful.
me put the. So, do you write all your songs then?
I've been playing music professionally for like 30 years now. So, yeah, I don't know. I write mostly predominantly work with original music, and so
That's amazing.
yeah,
Thank you so much for that.
yeah.
Thanks
True
for
story.
sharing that with us.
That's a beautiful song about redemption.
Sorry, Jeremy. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if it was because you put the speaker on, but I got like a weird noise.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the speaker from your guitar, if it's still on. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
It's really bad, the sound. Do you think do you have the speaker from your the speaker on?
Is it better?
Oh. No, it's like there is like a. Do you know the speaker behind you from your guitar? Is it on? Maybe it's doing some. No. No, it's a bit weird.
It's off.
No, it's like you are in a funnel, like talking like this. Oh.
Oh no. Maybe I killed my phone.
Oh. It's a shame. It's all right. You know what? It's okay. You can come out and come back again if you want to try. It's up to you.
Yeah, I will do that. I'll do that.
Is that okay? I'll wait here for you then. Thank you. So let's wait for Jeremy. Just to is watching. Hello, Sarah. Good evening. Thank you, Susan, Sally, Christine, and everyone that is watching. And just waiting for Jeremy to join us. And he's here again. Let's see if the sound is better. Give me a second, please.
Are you there?
Oh, yes. You need to work with both, Christine. You know, if you're going to work with your,
Over.
let me see if I can see Jeremy. I know I've been raised like that because I've been raised as a Catholic, Christine. Hello, Jeremy. Just talk to us
Hello.
to see if we can hear you better.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Perfect. Yes,
All right.
you are back. Jeremy, let me just comment something and you can actually talk with me about that. So Christine was being raised as a Catholic, as both of me and you, and she's been taught that it's bad, psychic abilities, and that's what we were talking about, Christine. Yeah. First of all, if you're going to work with your psychic abilities, you need to be in a good place with God so he can help you, you know. Also, don't forget Jesus also had gifts. I think mine got a bit of echo. So you know, Jesus
No,
had
you're
all.
good.
Go on, Jeremy.
So
The show
she
is
was.
yours today.
I'm not sure I understand the question. She was worried about like stepping like about believing in anything else that as far as a God source other than God or Jesus.
No,
I was taught
basically,
it was.
let
I'm
me put
sorry.
that.
I just saw her comment and it just went away. I was taught it was bad, and I am Catholic. What is bad? What is she? What is
Because she finds it cool that we are talking about both combination of God and psychic abilities, and she been raised as a Catholic. Yeah, that's what we spoke in the beginning or middle of the show. Yeah.
It's really interesting because I was talking to a family member about this yesterday who had a spider in her in the shower, and the spider is like very much like there are spider. I don't know if you can see this spider. That's a spider
Oh,
spirits.
I don't know
And
what's my connection with spiders. The first tattoo I did when I was 14 years old, I did
yeah,
a spider. It's still here. I
they're
don't know why
beautiful.
yet. I
They
might
have
find out today.
they help spider spirits, the spirit and animal totem. Okay, is
Yeah,
they help us see the bigger picture of life, right? And
the spiders.
yeah, I mean they're super beautiful. Um, yeah, they see behind the veil, if you will, and so it's no
Yeah,
coincidence you as a psychic have a spider tattoo. None at all. None at all.
that's interesting because you are talking about spiders, and I know I did this. I was 14 years old. I faked my mom signature.
Yeah.
And I know it's for a reason. Now that you are talking about, I'm going to have more into it.
So and this is again where I refer to as a spiritual octopus, right? So I talk a lot about different spirits. I've worked with many different spirits, many different gods, goddesses, deities. Okay, like
Yeah.
I'll give you some examples, like Paul the Venetian, uh, Horus, Isis, Kuan Yin, Jesus Christ, the angelic realm, and then magical creatures as well, and all sorts of different animal spirits, tree spirits, you name it, guys, galactic families. There are so many different spirits, and it's not wrong to ask for assistance. It's taught, oh no, there's only one God and that's it. That's all you're supposed to pray to. Look, here's the thing about the spider spirit. This was created by the grand architect, if you will, or source. And that there is God's love and energy in that. And it is not wrong
Yeah.
to humbly ask it to lend its power and help you, assist you in some way. Look, to realize, and at the said, I would never tell anyone to do anything. trust your intuition. It's your soul's journey. I don't know your truth. And I say, but if it resonates with you, if it feels with you, look, brother and sister, you might be on a life cycle where this is not part of your thing to learn, like to try to be like Jeremy. No, you must be yourself and do what resonates with you. You
Exactly.
know, um, not maybe, my true purpose in life is when you speak about Jeremy, you're authentic. Jeremy, you're really different. You're like, you just say your truth. You show your struggles. You try to come up with a solution. You're really authentic. I could talk about galactic families 1 minute, just about how we identify with judgments, how we can do. I can talk about so many different things for you guys that follow me on Facebook. And it shifts, and it's always divinely guided by where I'm at in the moment in the day.
That's
Yet,
it.
yet I'm just being my authentic self. I always say to people, you don't need to know who your guides are. If you don't even believe in God or anything, you don't even know who your guides are. Just know you're being guided. That's enough. That's
Just
enough.
if you don't believe in God, just say the universe. That's what I say to people. If you don't
Yeah.
want to mention the word God, ask the universe, because
Yeah.
universe is God at the end of the day. In every religion they got a God, but if you don't want to say those words, use the word universe. I
So,
got
yeah.
lots of
So,
background guides too.
so many people don't realize that religion, when it's been brought to the earth plane, okay, when Christianity was formed, when paganism was formed, when Judaism was formed, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever it is, that it was there for those people so that they could relate. Look, some indigenous person of South America that has never had a concept of Jesus Christ, you're going to sit there and tell me that that soul is not worthy of heaven, or because they don't know Jesus Christ? No, that's ego. That's fear. That's that person's fear going, oh, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're done. Jesus Christ is the only one God. No, no, let's take a breath. That's
Yeah.
your truth. Maybe it's not meant for that soul to see anything else in this life cycle because you're not there yet. It's
Yeah.
all about evolution. And if the fear of believing in deities, gods, all from whatever, doesn't matter. Look, there's light in everything. So it's not wrong to ask for assistance or to give thanks to any spirit in any form. And yet, if you feel that it's only Jesus Christ or God, and I can speak from this as a Catholic, right? And then someone would say, well, then you're not a Catholic. Nobody gets to tell me how my now looks or my tomorrow looks or the rest of my days look but me. So I don't tell anybody that's your judgment of me. Nobody can tell me that I can't identify as a Catholic if I believe in God, ISIS or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Let me tell you, Jeremy. I One of my main guide is Anubis, and because I was very attached with God, and I've been raised as a Catholic, and He started to show up to me, I was like, but God is a God, and now I got another God as my. It was a bit confusing for me. I got another God that is my main guide, and He's always showing up to me and giving me this message, and it was a bit confusing. It might confuse other people, but there is God above of all the gods, and then these
Yeah.
first other gods, they came after God. It was God that put them in the earth. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's good to talk about this. Some people, they don't understand, and in my case, I've been there.
And some people are so fearful of the judgment or wrath of God for believing in anything else. Like,
Yes,
and that's not true. This is not.
exactly.
It's like what Jesus Christ told you in meditation, that to not fear the judgments, right? Not fear. So, brothers and sisters, realize that whenever we feel uncomfortable and we feel, oh my goodness, I'm going to be judged, that is, and you get really uncomfortable, you get scared even. You're feared about the wrath, right? Realize that is your higher self and your future self knowing that the way you're thinking about this is wrong. Look, if you're not completely at peace right now and comfortable, then you're doing and thinking or identifying with something in a false way that spirit or God doesn't want you to feel. And it's a matter of surrendering and realizing it's okay. Look, you're gonna still right now. If I say that it's possible for you to put a little buttermilk out in your backyard for the fae, for the fairies, just to say thank you, magical creatures, we love you. Okay, if you do that right now, you're not gonna get swallowed up by the devil. The earth's not gonna and suck you. You're gonna be okay. Okay, because God loves you. Because God is in all things at all times, including
Exactly.
all deities, goddesses, everything. So when we say we see goddess Horus, right? Son of Isis, like the falcon-headed god of Egyptian times. Look, whoa, we see wings, right? Look, realize angels and wings, the wings, the avids. This is a concept of the mind. What do angels truly look like? Look, we may perceive them as that because they have such radiant energy. They're just simply energy that we'll perceive them as being winged creatures. When the truth of it is, no, that's a concept of the mind and human experience because we can relate it to what we see on our planet, that we see birds. So now, religion, I love how I'm connecting this tissue right now. So, to the soul that's born in the rainforests of South America that knows nothing of Jesus Christ, does that make him any less worthy of divinity? Absolutely not. So if you grew up in Europe, and yes, Christianity is ever. If you grew up in Rome and you're Catholic, great, good for you. That's where it was meant for you because you were born there. Look, everything is there's a starting off point on our soul's journey, and you're born into an environment in order to learn lessons. So now, if you were a super starchy Catholic that says, "Oh, I'm gonna burn it," you gotta listen to Jesus, or you're gonna burn in hell. Bam, Satan. No. Look, if you were that person in this life cycle, chances are you're gonna be born in some indigenous village and God knows where, and it's all because you're gonna learn lessons.
You're going to learn different stuff that you're going to bring, that you're going to use in the next life. And that's what we need to do.
And you will feel it on a soul level, that you will no longer be that judgmental. You will be a little more empathetic, even if you're reborn Catholic, the next life cycle. Realize this. So you're
very interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? It's that kind of things that we do know that they exist, they are real, it's common sense, but we don't give it too much thought. So it's really good to talk about it. For example, sorry, I'm just going back because we've been talking about so many things and people are putting comments and I find it funny. Do you know what, Jeremy? I don't see my spider for more than 10 years because I don't look at my back. I don't even remember I had a spider. And thanks for you to coming to this program today. Now I'm going to do a little bit more research about it, and I'm going to connect with it because I know it's there for a reason. I'm sorry, I know you are like, oh, I can't bother, but I'm like,
no, I love this.
You had to come to this program for me to bring this extra energy into my life, which is quite funny.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful, Summer. Like, everything is happening for us. Our alignment. To the fact that there's no coincidence that me and my family member were talking about this spider, that I was like grabbing that here we are today. There are no coincidences. This is so beautiful because
amazing. Yeah,
it is. It's awesome. And this takes I see you buying a book on animal spirits really soon if you don't have one already, because
I don't have one.
I see you buying one in the future. You will have it because you guys realize this, that whenever you see, so for my last year of recovery from heroin and all these things, right? Okay, I've had a little over a year now of sobriety, and all along this last year, I want to share with you this. I've had different things come up in my life as far as animal spirits. I've had cranes, I've had dragons, I've had
I'm the dragon lady.
I've had like chipmunks, raccoons, magical.
Oh, wow. Oh, don't you start because we got Sally, and Sally says we only got 5 Sally Hamilton. It's quite funny that you're talking about that. She got a program with me on Thursdays, and she works with animals, and she's actually doing a tarot deck about animals.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
But she says we only got 5. There is a bit of
totem?
yes.
So, okay, so now as far as animal totem is concerned, now that again, one thing is this, I know this. No matter what I read in a book or what I read online or whatever it is, I still take what I want, I leave what I don't. With respect, to say all this, of course.
Of course.
And so like I do know that animal totems. Okay, so now I everything I know is absolutely based on intuition. Okay, my intuition. I always end up buying. My spirit guides will guide me to a book, and then I grab it by the binder and I shake it. I'm like, all right, spirit, what do you want me to know right now? And then oh, yep, I already learned that, and that's beautiful.
Thank you, Sue.
So animal spirits change as far as what power they're willing to lend you a power of. So let me give you an example. One day I kept dreaming about dragons.
Right.
And I would see them on the side of as a logo on the side of a beer truck or on somebody's shoes or on their sweater with a dragon. I just kept seeing dragons everywhere, right?
I did a tattoo with a dragon without even, I supposed to write my name in Chinese and they couldn't find my name, and I end up doing a dragon.
This is amazing. Dude,
my main animal is a dragon. It's so weird.
No, this is not weird. This is so awesome. You guys, do you see how this is working? So now we start talking about the spider spirit, and I land on the dragon of all the spirits I've worked with to talk about. And Summer has them both on both arms. Come on. You can't make it up. Right?
This is so funny.
But what does the dragon spirit, the animal spirit of the dragon, the magical creature? Yes, they exist. They're in another dimension. Okay. So to me, it was when I was really vulnerable for a relapse. Okay. And at this moment in time, I was going through a tower moment that this animal spirit could lend its magical power to me to help protect my treasure, not money, but my sobriety. And it was super beneficial for me. So, and again, I love the fact that you have both these tattoos. Like, this is no coincidence.
This is so funny. I never gave it too much thought. You know what I mean? It's because it's with me. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, but now you're going to say, hey, Google, what is the meaning of the dragon spirit? And what is the meaning of the spider?
I do know the meaning because I work with them, honestly. You know that my daughter, she saw I was a bit cuckoo with all the things that I see. This is true, Jeremy. This is true. And we were driving to Portugal, which is 2,000 miles from here, from England. I live in England. And there was a dragon in the clouds. I asked my dragon to show up, and it showed up in the clouds. My daughter could see it; she couldn't believe it. A dragon, like exactly the shape.
Yes, beautiful. And that's what we refer to as scrying. As scrying, like when we look into a crystal ball, or we look into a bowl of water, or we look into the clouds, and it's absolutely truth, and it's no coincidence, and it's so beautiful.
I know. Let me just tell you, Sally was mentioned that we got 5 main totem animals. We got many. Many, she was saying, but we got 5 main ones. That's what she was fighting.
Sending you love, Sally. I've seen some of your comments. I appreciate you so much. Absolutely. I'm with you. Yeah. So for me, like a cougar is one of mine, and it's one I've lived in a past life as a cougar, as a mountain lion. It's no coincidence I have one running around my yard right now in my neighborhood. Like literally. There's a mountain.
I think she got one too, Sally. Sally, she got one too. The other day, I was texting her, and I saw one in the garden, and I was like, "What is it? It looks like a leopard, like a lion fur. You know, understand what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
And I was like, and she was like, "Oh, you need to call the control animal," and I'm like, "Sally, it's in a spirit."
No, mine is actually in physical. Mine is in the physical. Like I have one.
Is it?
Yes. Like no kidding. It's running around my house. Like there's one in my neighborhood right now.
And I live one.
No joke. No joke. Like no joke. There's a mountain lion that I got tracks right out in the backyard. I mean, it's magical. It's magical, and
That's crazy.
no coincidence.
Jeremy, I would love to
It's
stay with you
funny.
here
It's funny.
tomorrow.
It's funny. Like you said that about no. Mine is like a spiritual cougar, or like yeah. Because it's like, can you imagine me saying, "Oh, don't let the cat out right now"? Why? There's dragons out there. Like,
Don't you call me crazy, or I'm going to ride in my dragon and I'm going to go.
oh, I love you.
Sometimes I'm like, no, one of these days, the men with the white coat, they're going to come to collect
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's
Okay,
funny.
Jeremy, I would love to stay here with you, but we've already been here for a while. It was
Yeah.
lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
I
much,
appreciate
everyone, for watching.
Everybody have a beautiful evening or day wherever you are on the earth plane, guys.
Jeremy, if anyone wants to see your lives, do you have a page or that you want
My
to leave?
friend, to be really truthfully honest, you like I'm only on Facebook, on my Facebook. So friend request me or check me out. I also work. I post a lot of my videos to the Ascended Masters group page on Facebook as one other.
That's when I met you.
Oh yes, yes.
When I found you.
So and I just take it one day at a time. I just work to become, not to acquire. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where anyone can link up with me. But by all means, anyone feel free to send me a private message on Messenger if they need guidance, and I will get back to them if I can, when I can. And I want to say thank you again, Summer Sparks, for your beautiful, awesome energy. I love you so much. Much love
Thank
and
you.
light to you and yours.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Take care. I hope you have a lovely week, everyone. Thank you.